Hello and welcome to Nerd Subculture. I'm your host Jared.
And I'm Edwina.
And we are continuing our Once More with Feeling, our Buffy the Vampire series. We are now up to episode 5 of season 1, Never Kill a Boy on the First Date. First released on March 31st, 1997, directed by David Semmel, written by Robert Des Hotel and Dean Batali. So, Eddie, what are our initial thoughts on this?
Well, this is more Buffy likes boys. She likes high school. She has a type. She definitely has a type.
Yeah, the tall, dark, handsome guy. I think this guy comes up.
The dark, brooding, reads poetry kind of guy.
Reads poetry. Yes,
Yep.
Must read poetry.
Yeah.
Probably saw a slightly different side of Buffy this time. A little more happy-go-lucky, wanting to go out a bit more and live a little bit, I guess, in this episode.
Yeah, a bit more. Yeah, she's more Valley Girl Buffy in this episode. And again, comes around at the end going, realizing that her lifestyle can actually endanger those around her.
Yeah, responsibilities, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do play into that. All right. Well, let's get into the synopsis. Owen asked Buffy out on a date at the Bronze. Giles has found out about a prophecy from the symbol on the ring they found at the cemetery. He is convinced that the Anointed One will rise that night, and so despite Buffy's protests, they spend hours sitting on graves waiting for a vampire to rise. None does, though Giles is certain that his calculations are correct. He calls an end to their stakeout. I see what they did there. That's very funny. Buffy arrives at the Bronze and sees Cordelia dancing with Owen.
Getting all snuggly-wuggly.
Yeah, she was. At the same time, in a bus on the way to Sunnydale, a man stands up and begins to lecture the other passengers on God's judgment, quoting prophecies. Suddenly, a vampire walks in front of the bus, causing it to crash. Other vampires swarm the wreck, attacking the passengers, including the religious fanatic. The next morning, Owen asks Buffy out on another date and even gives her a pocket watch so that she doesn't miss the time. When evening comes, Giles shows up at Buffy's house waving a newspaper that shows 5 people died when a bus crashed, among them the suspected murderer Andrew Borba, the man who was quoting the prophecies. Buffy insists on going to the Bronze, so Giles decides to check the Sunnydale funeral home himself. Unfortunately, there are vampires present to get the Anointed One, and they trap Giles in a room. Xander and Willow have followed him, though, and run back to the Bronze to get Buffy. There, first Cordelia, then Angel tries to come between Buffy and Owen. Finally, Xander and Willow manage to get her to come to the funeral home by pretending to be a couple that wants to do something daring on a double date. When Buffy figures out what has happened, she tries to ditch Owen, but unfortunately, he tags along. Even worse, he is present in the funeral home when Borba rises as a vampire. In the fight, Owen is knocked unconscious. Buffy kills Borba by sliding him into the lit furnace. The next morning, Owen is excited about what they've been through and wants more. This is what he likes about Buffy, he says, and almost being killed makes him feel alive. She realizes that there is no way that she can have a relationship with him. Sooner or later, he will get himself killed. Giles comforts Buffy by telling her what a burden it was for him as a 10-year-old to find out his destiny was to be a watcher when he would rather be a fighter pilot. Both agree that at least the Master will be unhappy too because the Anointed One was destroyed. But in his underground lair, the Master is overjoyed as he welcomes the real Anointed One, not Borba after all, but a young boy who was on the bus with him.
Bum, bum,
The end. The Anointed One.
Okay, so the Anointed One is commonly referred to within the Buffy fandom as the Annoying One.
Really? The Annoying One, the kid, huh?
Yes.
Right. I actually thought it was going to be the black lady. I thought, I'm sick of this misdirection stuff. You keep doing it almost every episode, so now I'm just looking for it. Going, the crazy guy screaming about God and prophecies, and it's not going to be him. It's going to be one of the other people. And I missed a kid, so yeah.
Yeah, you were sitting there going, it's the black woman. I'm not falling for this crap anymore.
It's a quiet black lady at the back. She'll be the Anointed One.
Yeah. So had you seen this episode before?
No, I've never seen
Yeah.
this episode.
So this is an arc episode, and we finally get back to the Master. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't seen him since like the first.
Yeah, this
two
is the
episodes.
fifth episode. So yeah, been a couple episodes with other Monster of the Week.
Yeah. So this is an
stories.
arc. What do you call it? An overarching episode.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lovely little vengeful sermon that the Master recites, and he says, "Here endeth the lesson." And I was I was just thinking to myself, I know it's used quite like a lot throughout it gets used a few times throughout the series, by different characters.
Yeah.
And it's first used here. And I was like, where is this from? Like, what is it from? The "here endeth the lesson." And so, of course, I start looking it up because I'm thinking it must be like from English.
Well, he kept saying, "So it is written, so shall it be." It was very close to that. "So it is written, so shall it be done" from like the Ten Commandments. They repeated that line a lot.
Yeah.
So I know that was a little play on that one, I think.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's actually something that's said by priests and reverends at the end of a sermon.
Oh, what? "So it is written, so shall it be done"?
No. Here endeth the
Oh,
lesson.
okay, right.
Like
yeah.
after they read out the sermon or whatever in church, they say here endeth the lesson.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, I looked at someone was actually reading a like the Anglican prayer book that they give out to they read from pretty much. And it actually has "here endeth the lesson" written in it. But
Okay,
I
right.
honestly thought it was from Shakespeare.
I think it's been said a few times in the show as well. I think I did read about that, Buffy saying that same line a few
That's
times.
That's what I said. I did say, like, it gets used by Spike,
okay,
it gets used by Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I did eventually find out where it came from. Oh, yeah, it was used in the Untouchables. So.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I'm not sure what else to say about this episode.
You've got David Boreanaz being or Angel being petty. I always love a petty Angel.
That was something coming up at the 26-minute mark. They keep mentioning that he breaks character or something like that.
As I said, he doesn't break character. It's him being petty Angel.
And I did to rewatch it. And he just does sort of make a goofy face or something. Like I don't know if that was breaking character or not.
No, that's just being petty Angel.
Right.
Like he does it quite a bit in Angel.
Okay, so that's his I'm petty with you face. I kept to notice this coming up about the Nelson ratings were 2.8 on its original airing, and it was the 104th most watched show out of all the 115 primetime shows of its time, 5th out of 11 shows from the Warner Brothers. Now I don't really understand what that means. I'm not really familiar with ratings and what these numbers mean. Is that 2.8 million? Is that what that 2.8 means?
I have no idea.
And so being in America, I don't understand if 2.8 million is a lot of people or not, because I know there'd be a lot of people in Australia watching a show, but is that 2.8 million people watching in America, and is that bad? But when it says 104th out of 111, that sounds pretty awful. But then it says 5th out of 11 shows from the Warner WB. So it's mentioning it with, I can't tell if it's a bad or a good thing, but it comes up. So I know, were the ratings like pretty poor in the early days maybe of the show? Was this is sort of the mid-season, I guess, of it. So I guess they kind of dip a little bit towards the sort of the center of the season, maybe.
It was a summer filler show, so I can't imagine they were too hung up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
was it?
Yeah. So.
Oh, March. Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, I'm watching this going, this is like middle of the year. No. I got my seasons all mixed up. Okay.
No.
This is autumn for us, so this is like the start of the year when a show would. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it was a summer filler show.
Mm-hmm.
It had pretty much no budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, I don't think they were caring too much about the ratings. It didn't even, the first season, they didn't even get a full season.
Yeah. It's got the 12 episodes, and see where they go from there. So,
yeah, there's not much. This episode does have a lot of good lines. It probably has the famous line from Buffy, which is, "If the apocalypse comes, beat me."
That was something that was mentioned, that she's got a beeper in this episode.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have one ever again, apparently.
No, she does.
She does? Oh, okay. They don't have phones in this series. Did they ever get phones?
Yeah, but in the later ones,
Yeah.
like you know, it's 1997. Not everyone has a mobile at this point.
Well, a lot of people did, to be honest. And I do remember having an American exchange student around this time, and she was actually astonished by how many people had mobile phones. She was like, wow, like a lot of people have mobile phones here. Like it's not that common in America. Now, this is maybe mid-90s, like 96, 97. I can't really remember.
I know my parents probably got their first mobile phone in like 1996 was when we had that, because I do remember I had to take that to parties with me. And I used to get absolutely, like, if anyone saw that phone, I'd have yuppie screamed at me.
Yeah, it was a real tooly thing. Like, oh, you got a mobile phone, Only people need to run a business of a mobile phone. I remember saying that to someone. Yeah, I was one of those too. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're a yuppie. Yeah, what do you think you are? Having a
but
phone
as
in
I
your
said,
class.
I had to take it with me if I went to a party.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was pretty much in case anything happened.
Yeah. And when I started working, the phones are just coming in. So I kind of can't fathom how people sort of operated businesses without a mobile phone. I know my dad did have a pager, but I didn't know how he sort of really used it that often or how it all sort of worked. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
apparently it wasn't that common in America. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but that's just something an exchange student said to me, that it wasn't that common. Beepers were really popular.
Yeah,
A lot of
beepers weren't that popular here, were they?
Well, again, like I do remember my father having one, so I don't know if that's a common thing, but yeah, whether other people had them or not. But,
my dad did have one, but it was like for the CFA.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was and they mainly had them because the reception was really bad.
The CFA being the
Country Fire Authority.
Thank you. Some people might know what the hell we're talking about.
True.
Got to give explanation for these.
Yeah.
Not really much to say about this episode, I got to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
As I said, it's not a bad episode. But it's not a top tier episode.
Yeah, it's very meh. This is going to be a very short podcast. It's very the terrible episodes we've got a lot to say about, but the meh ones were like,
it's not bad. The guy who plays Owen he looks like her dad. Like he's almost old enough.
Yeah,
to be her dad.
I thought that too, and I looked it up. He was 31.
Yeah, like he was. He's perhaps a little bit too old to be playing a high school boy.
Yeah, very much. I thought, that was a little noticeable that.
Yeah, and just funny that there's sort of that thing with Buffy. Cordelia also all of a sudden taking an interest in this guy.
In Angel?
No, in Owen.
In Owen?
In Owen,
right, yeah.
Like all of a sudden she has an interest in him. She has an interest in Cordelia then takes an interest in Angel and says, "Hello, salty goodness," which is what she actually says when she's reverted to a teenager in Angel.
Oh, okay, right.
And first sees Angel again. Says, "Hello, salty goodness."
Oh, when she's going to suck the oxygen out of him or something like that, she says.
Yeah.
What does she say?
I can't remember.
He's going to need some oxygen.
Yeah. But he doesn't breathe.
All right, I think that brings us up to question time. Oh, yeah, we got those questions coming.
Question time.
Answer the question.
That's the first time I'm hearing that. You didn't warn me about that.
All right. Go on, bring it on.
Okay. Which character are you hating?
Willow, I guess. She's barely in this, I think, really, to be honest, from memory.
Yeah. They have the great little line about talking about boys.
Yeah.
What was the most memorable fight scene?
I don't know if you call it the fight scene, but maybe when they take over the bus, I guess, maybe.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say when Buffy goes berserk because she thinks the vampires killed her boyfriend. She's like, "Why did you kill my boyfriend?" And she goes, "Yeah." Yeah. LOL moment of the episode. So there isn't really an LOL moment, is there?
No, I can't really think of any off the top of my head. I was thinking of some before you were going to ask me, but no, I can't really think of any laugh out loud moments.
Yeah, I would actually say this episode has not. Maybe if the apocalypse comes, beat me.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that one. Yeah.
Who gets the wooden spoon?
Oh, I guess maybe Arwen's a bit of a plank of wood, to be honest, like a wooden spoon. I suppose we've got to be clear when we say who gets the wooden spoon. We're not actually meaning who gets belted with it. We're saying who comes last. Wooden spoon being reference to who's last. That's his trophy, the wooden spoon. Yeah, Arwen's a bit of a plank of wood, definitely a wooden spoon in this. Has this sort of dopey look on his face the whole time. I guess he was told to act like that, but he's a bit,
Yeah, I reckon it's that.
And he just walks off to the sunset again, like just walks in and then walks out and he's gone again. Never to be referenced again, I'm guessing. We don't see him again.
I'll probably say it's that vampire that gets killed by the master, like that's part of the Order of Azulia or whatever it is. And he, like, the master just grabs his head and sticks his fingers through his eyes or rips his head off or something. Yeah.
What, the master gets a wooden spoon?
No, that vampire that
why?
gets
What
killed
did he
by
do?
the master. Well, he didn't really do anything, and yet he got killed.
That's not his fault, though.
Well, he got killed because his friend went out hunting and got himself killed, and then he got killed.
Well, shouldn't the friend get killed then? Get the wooden spoon because he got
That's
himself
why
killed?
I'm giving him the wooden spoon for not explaining that it's not his fault.
Oh, I'm sure the master would have been very forgiving if he said, "Oh, look, it wasn't my fault."
How was it? That's what I mean. How was it his fault?
I get the feeling that the master really couldn't have cared less whether he was in fault or not. It just seems like the type of guy who just doesn't want to hear excuses. Okay, whatever. You give him the wooden spoon then. If anything, it should be the other guy who got himself killed. Maybe he should get it because he got his mate killed as well.
Yeah.
All
right. We'll give it to the first vampire.
No, you can give it to the other guy. I'm just saying.
Fine. We'll give it to the first
I'm
vampire.
not arguing with you.
I think you are. You are the definition of lying to me. Favorite scene?
I don't know. I guess maybe, again, the vampires jumping onto the bus was probably a suspenseful sort of scene, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Least favorite scene?
Probably any scene with Owen in it, I guess. Poor Owen. He meant well, didn't he? He didn't mean well.
You know what? I don't actually
I actually suspected him because he was so nice. I thought, he's got to be a vampire or something too, until you pointed out that he was walking around the school during the day. Like, no, he's got to be like evil. He's got to be tied up with. He just seems so sweet and helpless and likable. Like, there's got to be something wrong with this guy. Maybe he's a praying mantis.
Didn't you say something in the episode? You were like, you talk like that sometimes.
Oh, there was a little moment when Buffy did a little ramble, a sarcastic ramble to Giles about the library. What was it? It was like people go into the library and then they read books, and then they learn,
Yeah.
There was something she said, and the way she said it, it's one of those things where you know someone that well, and you just see something. I just saw a little bit. I don't know. It was just I just heard it and I just sort of clicked. I'm like, oh, okay. It might be one of those moments when you like watch Jim Carrey or something and you see something I do. And that's where he gets it from.
Yeah, no, it's This is where the books are, and the student. Yeah. Anyway. My least favorite scene was in the bronze, like the four of them. There's Angel, Buffy.
Oh, and they're trying to do that awkward thing. Oh, let's go. We're a couple, yes. And
Xander,
and they're all fumbling around.
And they're all I
definitely play that one. Yeah. Which Owen was in too, by the way. The scene was in that.
What's your favorite quote of the episode?
What was that one when Xander yells out Slayer? What did you say?
How did the slaying go?
How'd the slaying go? It's like, shh, quiet. I meant the laying.
I didn't mean that either.
I didn't mean that either. Yeah. Go on. That'll do.
Yeah, I liked. Giles says to Buffy, All right, I'll just jump into my time machine, go back to the 12th century, and ask the vampires to postpone their ancient prophecy for a few days while you take in dinner and a show. Buffy responds with, okay, at this point, you're abusing sarcasm.
Yep, great. Fantastic. Shakespeare, eat that up.
Shakespearean. A Shakespearean line. Dinner and a show. I think I just like the dinner and a show.
Well, who gets a dinner and a show?
Dinner and a show.
I sound like more like a horny Frankenfurter then, didn't I? Well, who gets a dinner and a show?
Uh-huh. Okay, who's the MVP of the episode?
I guess, yeah, Buffy, takes this one out. I would have to say. No one else really contributes a lot, apart from Giles, trying to push her a bit.
I actually think Giles is the MVP of this episode.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he's the one who works out from the ring that trouble is coming.
Well, no, she worked it out. She's like, oh, it looks like one of those things in the books. And he's like, oh, no, it's not. He mansplains her. Oh, what are you talking about? Shut up.
He does not.
He kind of fluffs her off. Oh, yeah. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, and then he does the nice little story at the end of the episode about how he wanted to be a fighter pilot or a greengrocer. To cheer her up a bit because she's a bit upset that she's sort of realizing that
she has to accept her responsibilities because with great power, as we know,
comes great responsibility.
Oh, yes.
But you also put those around you in a lot of danger, which Spider-Man never mentions, by the way.
Yeah.
And he's and I swear in every movie the love interest is hanging.
Oh, she gets kidnapped every movie. It's just part of the relationship, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll go out, have dinners. Oh, and you're probably going to get kidnapped at some stage and held for ransom. Watch out for that one. And I'll be forced to choose between you and some other thing.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, I always choose both.
Okay. What do you rate this episode out of 10? And you've got to pick something.
A rating, I'll give it maybe a 2 out of 10 anointed ones.
I'll give it, it'd be 4 brooding Emily Dickinson poems.
God, okay. I had to think about that one. Now, was there anything else you want? Oh, actually, something I just thought then. The crosses thing. Is that a thing that repels vampires often?
Yes.
Is that they always use the crosses?
Yeah. Oh, they're pretty pointless because they're pretty easy to just
They just sort of whack them out the way.
They just kind of can hit them out of their hands.
So what about other religious sort of symbols and potions like holy water? Does that come up?
Holy water does repel, burns their skin. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to add? Anything?
Not really, because I've just forgot how much of a meh kind of episode this is. It's not good. It's not bad.
And I hate to ask, what to look forward to the annoying one, as you referred to it before?
You know what it is? It's just the fact that he's called the Anointed One and it's close to annoying. He's not really that annoying, but it is that thing with kids.
Kid characters in shows.
Kid characters in shows, and they never, they normally get rid of them pretty quickly.
Yeah. I've seen it happen so many times in other series shows where they have a child character and they sort of have these big plans for it and then they kind of just flutter off.
I'm
thinking Lost. What was the kid's name? Oh,
well, in Angel, there's a baby.
Yeah.
They aged him up by sending him to another dimension, and he comes back a couple of episodes later, a teenager.
Yeah.
Because you can't have
a screaming baby in the background the whole time.
It
gets old very quick, I'd imagine. Well, I think that's it, baby. You got nothing more? I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this one.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay, that wraps it up for this week on Nerd Subculture. I'm your host, Jared.
And I'm Edwina.
And this wraps it up. Yep.
Yep. Grr.
Oh, I haven't got grr. Oh, no, we've got a call to action. That's right.
Oh, yep. Call
Call to action. Do things.
Yeah. Subscribe to our podcast.
Yes.
Like our podcast.
Like it, review it,
Review it.
share it, delete it. Don't delete it. Bye.
Bye.